Do you want to make more money? Want to live a healthier, longer life? Want a better relationship with your partner? Okay. Do you see what I just did there? I captured your attention by using 3 of the most engaging and desiring topics: wealth, health, and relationships. If you're struggling to grow your business, attract sales, or get clients, it's likely because you're not focused on one of these 3 categories. And you're not speaking to a very specific type of person about one of these categories. So that's what we're gonna come in hot with here today: getting more business, attracting sales, and getting clients with having a very specific niche. And in part 2, we're gonna be talking about why health, wealth, and relationships are the most powerful and engaging content types. Okay, so first things first, why does your business even need a niche? Simply put, your niche and your offer are the foundation to everything you do. And let me tell you, if you're gonna build something that lasts, you need a solid foundation. Your niche is a group of people that you're trying to reach with your marketing, and your offer is what you're selling them. If you don't get super clear on both of these things, it doesn't matter how good you are at marketing later on. Because here's the truth: if you can't connect with a specific group of people and offer them something they actually want, nothing else matters. I don't care how amazing you are at live video or funnels or choosing your branding colors. You could have the most valuable membership or product in the world, but if you don't define your niche and offer, none of that is going to move the needle. But let me be very clear here. Picking your niche and putting your offer together, it doesn't have to be perfect right from the start. Like, it wasn't for me. Here's the truth. Even if you somehow got it spot on from day one, the second you start marketing, putting yourself out there and creating content, you're gonna realize there is still room to tweak, adjust, and refine. And that's a good thing. So instead of stressing over getting 100% of the things right today, just focus on what is right for you today and trust that it will evolve over time. Now, this doesn't mean jumping into a whole new niche every single week. It just means embracing small, steady improvements instead of obsessing over perfection. So this week on the show, we're gonna get specific. We're gonna spend some time getting clear on your niche and offer, and that's exactly where you should be. Because here's the deal. When you have a clear niche and a clear offer, marketing and selling, it's just so much easier. But if your niche and your offer aren't clear, I have to tell you, friends, life feels hard. Marketing and sales feel impossible. And I know that this is where a lot of people struggle. They feel out of alignment. They start questioning themselves, or they're putting in so much effort thinking they're doing everything right, but they're not seeing results. And 9 times out of 10, it's not because they're bad at marketing or sales. It's because their niche and their offer are unclear. If you fix that, everything else gets way easier. So, like I said, this is important, but it doesn't need to be perfect right now. It just needs to be clear. Clarity over perfection, always. And the best part? Well, you're gonna refine your niche and your offer over time. This is not like a one and done type of thing. It evolves as you evolve. So now let's talk about what a niche actually is. Think of it as a group of people who have something in common, something specific that connects them. For example, let's say you're talking to online entrepreneurs that run coaching businesses. That's a niche. Now, sometimes people think a niche is something broad, like small business owners, or my niche is working moms. But those are actually markets. They're way bigger in general. A niche, that's where we get really specific. Because if you think about it, small business owners, like quote unquote, that could mean many different things. You could have someone running a food truck, a wedding photography business, or an online boutique. They're all small business owners. But a food truck owner, totally different world than someone selling digital planners on Etsy or coaching new moms on fitness. Same broad category, but different needs, different challenges, different ways of thinking. Now imagine you're trying to speak to all small business owners at once. How do you craft a message that speaks to a food truck owner and a fitness coach and a wedding photographer? You can't. They each have different goals and different struggles and businesses that function in totally different ways. And that's why niching down matters. It's how you create a message that actually lands. Because when you try to talk to everyone, you end up connecting to no one. Does that make sense? Okay, so why do we even need a niche? Well, a niche helps us connect with a very specific group of people who truly understand us and we understand them. Like, we understand what they want, what they struggle with, what keeps them up at night. We can craft a message that speaks directly to them. Think about it. A wedding photographer and a food truck owner. Small businesses owners, yeah, but their challenges, their goals, Those are all different. When we say niche down, I am saying, hey, I see you. I get you. And what I offer, it's made just for you. That is the power of a niche. Okay, so let's talk about why becoming a specialist is so important. So when we talk about being a specialist, we're talking about being a specialist for that specific niche. All right, now let's talk about why becoming a specialist is so important. In business, specialists are the ones who thrive. They make more money. They're more respected. And then this one's a big part. They're easier to find. Why? Because people are actively looking for experts. So your goal is to evolve into a specialist in your field for your niche. So how do we do that? By niching down, by honing in a specific skill set, a unique experience, something that sets you apart. So let's take doctors, for example. In every city, you have great, amazing general physicians. They know a little bit about a lot of things, but they offer a blend together, right? Like nothing really stands out from them from the rest, maybe aside from their personality. And personality, well, that's great, but a personality is not a skill set. So now let's talk about specialists, because they're seriously in demand. When you've got a big, complicated problem, you're not looking for somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. You want the person who absolutely knows. That's why general contractors bring in experts like building a house when things get tricky. Imagine you're doing a major home renovation and suddenly you discover mold in the walls. Your general contractor, they're just not gonna slap some paint on it and hope for the best. No, they're calling in a mold remedy specialist, somebody who knows exactly how to diagnose the extent of the damage, remove it safely, and prevent it from coming back. Because your home and your health are not just on the line, and you're not just going to take a chance with a generalist. You want the expert with the tools, the training, and the experience to fix the problem in the right way. That's the power of specialization. It creates trust. It signals, I've got this down to a science. And the more niche and specific your expertise is, the more valuable it becomes. Because when something's rare, man, it's worth more. And people are willing to pay more for that kind of certainty. Niching down is all about starting with a broad category, let's say like health, and then refining it to a specific submarket, such as like holistic wellness. But we're not gonna stop there. We need to go even deeper into a niche, like stress reduction through meditation, improving gut health with probiotics, or boosting energy levels naturally with functional nutrition. Okay, it's a process of getting more and more focused as you go. And that focus is what sets your business apart. We're gonna dive deeper into this soon, but just for right now, I wanna introduce you to the idea of 3 core markets. It's essential to know which market you're in, and way more importantly, what you're truly offering. Whether you're helping people manage stress, strengthen their parenting skills, or start a side business, at the core of it all, you're addressing one of these 3 fundamental human desires: health, relationships, or financial security. And honestly, I find this fascinating. These are 3 areas that shape nearly every aspect of our lives, but they're barely taught in school. And that, to me, is a massive opportunity. Not just because you can use it to build a business in one of these markets, but to create something that genuinely helps people transform their lives. Imagine building a membership that empowers people to develop healthier habits, create deeper connections with their loved ones, or gain financial independence. That is real impact. We're gonna talk more about that soon in future episodes, but I just want you to start thinking, which market are you actually in? And what are you really selling? Because at the end of the day, that's what your audience is looking for. People want to feel their best. They want meaningful relationships. They want financial stability. That's the bigger picture. And once you see it, everything about your position and how you position your business, well, it starts to make sense. All right, let's talk about how to validate your niche. And then I'm gonna walk you through an example so you can see exactly how this process works and how you can do it for yourself. So this is a game changer when it comes to making sure your niche is solid. It's like a little grading system for your business idea. It's gonna help you figure out if it's got what it takes to actually work. So we just went over 3 big markets, and by now you probably have a general idea where you fit in: health, wealth, and relationships. When most people start their business, they usually have some kind of like gut feeling about what they want to do. Maybe it's a little bit fuzzy, maybe sometimes it's crystal clear, but either way, you've got some direction. Now, you might be leaning towards health or fitness, or maybe you're drawn towards helping people with love, relationships, or dating, or perhaps you're all about guiding people in business, sales, or money matters. Either way, you're heading in a direction. But when it comes down to really nailing down your niche, there are 4 key things to check off your list. Ideally, your niche should hit all 4 of these. Think of it like a test. Each box is worth 25%. If you check off all 4, congratulations, you have an A+ niche. But if you're missing one, well, now you're operating at 75%. It's still workable, but it's like running a race with like one shoe missing. Not ideal. Our goal is to set you up with a niche that's running full speed ahead. All right, so what are these 4 things? Are you ready? Like if you are listening or watching, like bring out a piece of paper. We're gonna go through this quiz. We're gonna make sure that your niche is locked in. First up, your niche needs to solve an urgent, painful problem. Your business exists to fix a problem, right? Like this is huge. If there's no problem, there's no demand. And let me be honest, I didn't learn this lesson. I lived this lesson, and not in like the cute, oh, well, that was a learning moment kind of way. No, it was more like a gut punch to my pride. Way back when I was getting my feet underneath me, I poured everything, like my time, my energy, my heart, into creating a branding guide for small business owners. I thought if I could just show people how powerful and well-thought brand is, they're gonna get it. They're gonna be obsessed. They will buy. Spoiler alert, they did not buy it. I was out there shooting from the rooftops. You need brand clarity, fonts, colors, your voice, it's everything, your brand. Meanwhile, my dream clients were sitting in their offices not thinking, I need a brand. They were thinking, how am I supposed to get any clients when I can't even figure out what to post for my marketing this week? These people weren't waking up stressed out about hex codes or typography. They were overwhelmed by the fact that their business felt like it was being held together with like duct tape and a prayer. I was trying to educate them on a problem they didn't even realize they had, instead of solving the one that was staring them down every morning. And that's where I went wrong. You don't build a thriving business by creating problems and trying to talk people into caring. You build a business by stepping into the chaos they're already in and saying, hey, I've got you. So here's the shift. Get to know your people. Like really know them. Maybe they're makers trying to turn their side hustles into legit shops, or consultants drowning in client work with no systems in place. Ask them, what's stealing your time? What's making you feel like you want to give up? What would it feel like if a miracle just landed and happened? How would you handle it? Because your job, it's not to convince, it's to connect. And you have to solve something urgent. Not that would be nice someday, but this is keeping me stuck and I can't move forward until it's fixed. That type of problem. So think of it like this. If your car is making a weird noise, you might ignore it for a while. But if it's an engine light that's flashing and smoke starts pouring out of your car, you're pulling over, you're calling for help, and you don't care what it costs. You're just like, I just need it fixed right now. I had one of those moments right before launch. 2 days out, my payment system completely failed. I mean, 0 checkouts, no transactions, just a spinning wheel of death. And I wasn't calmly evaluating software. I was begging for somebody, please jump in, save it right now, save my day. That's what an urgent problem looks like. When people are in that kind of pressure cooker, they're not looking for a DIY solution or a someday course. They want a person who could solve it yesterday. So if you want to build something that people are excited to pay for, don't sell them someday, sell them now. The thing that brings them immediate peace, clarity, or momentum. Be the person, they are so relieved to find. The one who struggles and understands their struggle and then shows up with the exact solution they didn't know that they needed help to ask for or know how to ask for, but they felt it in their bones. That's where the magic happens. People naturally move away from pain and toward pleasure. And here's the thing. The more painful their problem is, the faster they want to escape it. And the more they're willing to pay to make that happen. And that's where you come in. So we're not looking for those like, it'd be nice to fix this someday kind of problems. No, you and I, we're after the big, the urgent, the I need this solved yesterday kind of issues. That's exactly why somebody like a Spotify subscription is super affordable, because the problem it's solving, like Spotify is solving a problem, finding good music or podcast to listen to. And let's be real, there are a lot of ways to do it for free. So Spotify has to keep their price low. Now, another thing to think about, your niche should be easy to find online. So let's say you want to serve busy moms who need help with meal planning. You can find them all over Facebook, in parenting groups, in healthy eating communities, even following certain influencers. They're talking about their struggles with figuring out what's for dinner every single night. That makes them easy to connect with, easy to reach, easy to serve. Now, let's compare that. Let's compare it to, say, people who feel stuck in their career. Now, they do exist online, of course, but where exactly do they hang out? What groups are they in? Are they actively looking for help, or are they just frustrated but not taking an action? It's possible to find them, but it might be a little bit trickier. And we don't want to be making things harder than they need to be. So we're looking for an audience that's easy to identify and reach. And this is the key, like so important. These people, they need to have purchasing power. Now, since we're positioning at a premium price point, right? When I think about a niche, I'm looking for people who are qualified to buy in a premium price point, especially at the beginning. We need to make sure our audience can comfortably afford to invest in a solution. Urgent problem, easy to find, willing and able to pay. Okay, those are the three categories, each 25%. Now, the last one, finally, we're looking for growth. You don't want to build a business around something that's fading out, like creating, let's just say, like a membership site for Clubhouse or Tumblr, because those platforms, those are long gone. You want to be in a space that's growing, that has staying power, that people are excited about right now and will still care about like years down the road. So as you're brainstorming your niche, ask yourself, is there an urgent problem? Can I easily find and reach these people online? Do they have a budget to invest? Is this a growing market? If you're getting yes, 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 yes across the board, then friend, you are onto something good. Okay, so let's dive into another example. Now, I'm using these examples because I really want to make building a niche simple. It might not be easy, but it's simple. And I want to make sure that you have an A+ niche. So we're going to get into a different example. And this time it's going to come from like the coaching world. Because I know many of you are multi-passionate and you're trying to figure out, how do I narrow this thing down without cutting out my creativity? I get that. Picking a niche can feel like choosing a favorite child. But I want you to trust me. It's not about limiting yourself. It's about getting laser clear so the right people know you're talking to them. So let's say you want to start a productivity coaching business. Now, I love this space, but productivity, it is a huge, noisy market. Everyone's talking about to-do list, time blocking, morning routines. You can't just say, I help people get organized. That's not a niche. That's a Pinterest board. So let's just say you come to me and say, Jasmine, I'm obsessed with helping creatives get things done without burning out. If you say that, I would high five you and say, yes, now we're getting somewhere. I'd then ask you, who specifically are we talking about? Let's say you realize you're most passionate about helping female content creators, YouTubers, bloggers, online educators who are stuck in the cycle of overwhelm. They're creative, brilliant, full of ideas, but they're drowning in half-finished projects and they can't seem to follow through. Let's look at the niche. First, they're easy to find. They're on YouTube, TikTok, podcasting, and online communities where people are swapping gear recommendations and video editing tips. Second, they're investing in themselves. These are not hobbyists. They're building personal brands and looking for tools and coaching and systems that will help them actually finish what they start. Third, this market is exploding. The creator economy is booming, especially with women over 35 turning their passion projects into full-blown businesses. Now, what's the urgent problem? It's not just time management, it's creative burnout. It's the mental exhaustion of juggling content calendars and family lives, self-doubt, and never feeling like they're doing enough. That's where your coaching becomes a must-have. You're not selling time management. You're helping them reclaim their energy, finish what matters, and feel good about the way they work. Now, once you define that, your messaging, it like literally writes itself. You're not another, I'm a productivity coach. No, you're the secret weapon every overcommitted creative didn't know she needed. Okay, so one small note here. You'll see that there's a lot of directions you can go with like productivity coaching. Instead of focusing on creative burnout, you could maybe choose a focus on women who feel like they have mom brain and then gotten really clear on which type of mom. But the possibilities are many. But taking time to get ultra clear on the results that you will yield. So I'm gonna pause. Your niche is gonna be focused, But how we determine who we're really speaking to are what are the results that you get. Okay, so we're gonna break this down in a way that feels natural and engaging and easy to follow. First things first, who is your niche? Who are you serving? Get crystal clear on this because everything else builds from here. Now we're gonna take it a step further. Does this niche, do these people, do they have a painful problem? And not just any problem, one that keeps them up at night, one they're actively looking to solve. But here's the key. They also need to have a strong desire to fix it. Because if they're just like mildly annoyed, but they're not really motivated to take action, friends, that is not your ideal niche. Okay, next, what does their dream outcome look like? What's the situation they wish they were in? Okay, and here I wanna get super specific. The clearer you can be about what they want, the easier it will be to create offers that speak to them. Okay, now here's something that a lot of people overlook. Are they easy to find online? It's not enough to say, yes, they are. No, they're not. Where exactly are they hanging out? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they following certain influencers on Instagram? Are they active in certain Reddit threads or specific forums? You need to know exactly where they are so you can show up in their world, okay? And speaking of showing up, how do we know they're there? Are they engaging in conversations? Are they asking questions? Are they commenting on posts? These are all the clues that help you confirm you are in the right place. Then there's the question of purchasing power. If you're thinking about creating a course, a program, a digital product, or a membership for like this particular niche, can they actually afford it? More importantly, are they willing to pay for a solution? Because even if they can afford it, if they don't see the value, they're not gonna invest. And finally, is this a growing opportunity? You don't wanna pour like a lot of time and energy into something that's just fading away. You want to build your business around something that's expanding, not shrinking. The online learning space, digital tools, or wellness coaching. You want to build that around stuff that's growing. Maybe not things like around physical bookstores that are becoming less relevant as the world moves online, which breaks my heart, but let's not go there right now. So take a moment and think it through. And I want you to make sure your niche checks all those boxes, because when you do, everything else in your business becomes so much easier, okay? And so you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually answer all of these questions? How do I even research my niche? If you really want to understand your niche, you need to talk directly to the people you're serving, like real conversations, not just guessing what they need. No forums and surveys. Like, I don't think that's gonna cut it in today's day and age. I want you to jump on a phone call or a Zoom chat or meet them for coffee. This is where most people stop. This is what feels complicated. This is what makes people feel awkward, or at least that's what they say, when in all actuality, what they're really feeling is vulnerable. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard and humbling asking questions to learn more about people and problems, but that's the game. In fact, it was so hard for people that when we created the Consistent 10K, the team and I created a complete turnkey system on how for them to do it. Like, I mean, literally, like invites, setup, proven questions, a conversation guide, all of it. We knew that this was going to be a place where people stopped, or an excuse for people to stop. So we cleared the way and we made things simple so people got quick results and powerful results. So what's the goal of these conversations? Well, the goal is to capture all the gold, their biggest struggles, what's keeping them stuck, what they really want. Because when you know exactly what they need, you can create exactly what they'll buy. Now, I want you to lean in here. You have to step into these conversations with confidence and a fierce commitment to digging deep. Like don't settle for vague answers or surface level stuff. I want you to push for real, raw details. Think of yourself as a detective. Oh, you're curious, you're laser focused, and you're determined to uncover everything about your niche. And remember, this doesn't need to turn into a 3-hour conversation. No, keep it concise, but make every minute count. Because right now, I want to talk about strategy. How do you actually set up these calls? Now, we can dive more into that in a future podcast episode, but only if I hear from you. Like, I poured so much time and energy into talk about a niche, but I'm like, maybe I care about the things that truly matter, but people actually don't care about it. But I'm sitting here and I'm saying, if you're struggling, I want you to take a good, cold, hard look at your niche and ask yourself, do you have an A+ niche? Because if you don't, you're making growing your business a heck of a lot harder. My goal for each episode is to ensure that you take one action. I don't want to pile on so much that you get overwhelmed or you don't start. So if you'd like to learn more about how to set them up, send me an Instagram message and let me know. I only create these episodes to ensure they're helpful and that they're interesting. So tell me, like, literally, what do you want more of? And one last thing, I don't want you to skip this step. I know it might feel easier to send out a quick survey or ask people to vote or reply or have a poll on Instagram. But trust me, nothing beats real conversations. And plus, I think this is great practice for later because as you learn, sales happen through conversations, talking to people, listening to their needs, and understanding how you can serve them. That is the foundation of a successful business. So you're gonna hear me say, get out there, start having conversations and watch, I promise you, how much clarity and confidence you're gonna gain. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help. And if you'd like more information about my program, the Consistent 10K, the 90-day program that helps you build a digital business with consistent 10K months, send me an Instagram message with the comment 10K. I can't wait to send you more information and connect with you. And like always, if you have found this valuable, send me a DM or tag me in a story so I can personally reach out and thank you. If this has been valuable to you as you build your niche, I'm sure you know a friend or somebody you care about deeply in your life. Send them this episode and let them know the reason that the business isn't where we want it to go is likely we don't have an A+ niche. So this is made from love from me to you. Let's get busy. Let's start building. Thank you for watching and listening to The Jasmine Star Show.